Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I'm recording this earlier in the day because, like I said yesterday, we've got some pretty severe storms coming through this afternoon. And I mean, if I wait till normal time, I may not be able to record the video depending on the weather. So I'm going to make this early, but the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I'm talking about some current news that's happening right now. By the time you watch this, things might have changed. But if you haven't noticed or you haven't heard, Israel has struck Iran. Now, I know it sounds pretty bad, but basically Israel was taking F-35 planes that they purchased from us, and apparently they shot 6 missiles at Syria, at a building in Syria, and right next to that building was an Iranian consulate office, which is technically sovereign soil for Iran. And whether it was accidental, intentional, collateral damage, whatever, the Iranian consulate office was also hit and received some damage. Damage enough that, as of right now, 6 Iranians have been killed. 3 or 4 of them were generals. One of them was one of their top generals. This is a pretty big deal. This could be one of those other things that kind of causes all this to take a turn. Iran has already responded, saying that they will respond and retaliate against Israel very harshly. Well, already, I mean, you know this, over the past few weeks, the public opinion globally for Israel has gone down quite a bit. People are starting to question why Israel, and I'm not saying that, I'm just stating facts. People are starting to question, is it justified what Israel's doing in Gaza? Have they taken things too far? Have they caused too much civilian casualties? You know, it's not just in the northern region now. They're all the way down to the Egyptian border pretty much. And so even the United States has not been quite as verbally supportive of Israel. So the Muslim world especially, I mean, not just recently, but overall, they hate Israel more than ever, at least it appears on the surface. And so now this has happened. Iran has been very vocal the last few years about on the verge of destroying Israel. And I guess the question right now is are they really ready? Has it all been talk, or are they ready? Because this could be that reason to make some actions from Iran to Israel. And if that happens, it could blow up a big old can of worms. It really could. I think this is serious. I'm not saying that something serious will happen. I think all the big thing is that kind of that splicing of the hairs of how Israel and Iran and the international community will look at this as, well, Israel didn't intend to, I'm making this part up. Israel didn't intend to strike Iran's consulate office. It was collateral damage. That wasn't our intentions. Okay, Iran's like, well, okay, we're not going to consider this time sovereign attack on Iranian soil. We're going to slap your wrist, spank your little bottom because you did something to us, and we'll call it good. If that's all that happens, then I guess we're okay as a planet. But it's very possible that things could go the other way. And so here we are again at another potential inflection point of all of this that we've been seeing going on in the world. It could be, another turn of events that pushes the whole new world order closer and closer, and pushes us closer to global war, closer to, us having major issues, problems, destruction. I mean, we've already seen that you and I are we're hated. We need to act like it, okay? There's another YouTuber that says that all the time, and I completely agree with it. You're hated, act like it. That's not an exaggeration, it's biblical. And yesterday, I think it was very apparent that the government, state governments, state officials, businesses, everyone was showing which side that they're on. All the transgender, the lighting up of the transgender colors and flags and celebration of that. There's many wars going on, okay? I hear people all the time, when is World War III going to happen? Well, there's a lot of wars going on. There's psychological warfare. There's cultural war that's going on. There's spiritual warfare that's going on. There's a cold to moderately warm uh, world war that's going on, all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of civil wars. And I know that sound, you're like, oh gosh, my goodness, Travis, you're taking things to the extreme. You sound like a lunatic. I mean, you need an Alex Jones mask on. And I know it sounds that way, but the reality is that's where we're at. You and I, for the most part, don't see it in our daily lives. It's being hidden from us. That's for a purpose. It's being hidden for a purpose. I think these globalists have learned over the centuries of conducting this type of unconventional warfare against their subjects, their people, over the generations, is that they've realized that they're able to gain more control by not having probably a big kinetic, big war like World War I and II. That's better off if they just do this psychological warfare and chip away at people's rights and chip away at their worth and their value and their soul and their health and all, and their mental, acuity and everything, to the point that, a war doesn't even have to happen because they've beaten them down enough and they control them already. Shoot them full enough of stuff in their arms, all that kind of stuff. But make no mistake about it, we are experiencing the effects of wars, the effects of non-conventional, non-kinetic warfare, fifth generation warfare. It's all happening around us. We have to be ready for that. I talked about over on Locals today. You should go sign up over there. I talked about over on Locals today how, we have to get physically prepared in a defensive manner, if you catch my drift, with all of this stuff coming across the border. There's reports in most major cities now of roving gangs of illegals that's been trained by cartels and militaries in South America that are going around and stealing everything and just destruction and violence and violent attacks against people all over the country. This is getting worse, and we have to prepare for that. I talk about that over on the Locals channel today, but I'm telling you folks, the stuff that's going on, it is happening. These are warfare tactics, whether it's economic or spiritual or, maybe, and when I say spiritual, that can mean a couple of things. Spiritual can mean that there's the spiritual realm, the spirit world that is at war and we're in the middle. But there's also the physical / spiritual, where it's kind of psychological, that these globalist elites are attacking us for our spiritual belief. We are in the crosshairs. They want to destroy and beat down you and I because of how we believe spiritually. Like they want to make us extinct, basically, our beliefs, God, the Bible, all of that. And so there's so much stuff going on that we have to wake up and get ready for it. Just in the last several days, a week, almost every day, I'm getting emails from people that are, telling me about what's going on in their area. This a white van load showed up with a bunch of immigrants from somewhere. And, now they're standing on street corners and, hearing from police chiefs from very small towns saying that, 10, 20 of them showed up, and now, theft and traffic violations and all this kind of stuff is going through the roof. Reports from bank tellers that the busload of them will show up and they'll have these federal government checks that they're supposed to cash, all kinds of stuff I'm hearing all the time. And you add to all that the global things, stuff in Israel, Russia, Ukraine, Taiwan, China, and more. It's time to wake up. It's time to get hard. Harden yourself, okay? Become tough. Get some grit. Because this is not a time for weak men. This is not a time for pushovers. This is not a time for, cowards and for hiding your head in the sand and hoping it goes away or believing that the government's going to come and take care of you. Because they're not. They're the enemy too. They've chosen their side, and it's not yours. It's time to toughen up. It's time to get ready. It's time to get out there and train, burn some sweat. You're not going to move mountains as long as you're sitting on a couch. You need to get out there and get moving. Get ready, stock up. Don't forget the little things too. But you need to stock up on, get your supplies to where they need to be, build your community, get your training, develop the skills, practice frequently, develop a plan with your family and with the people around you. I tell you this stuff all the time. I get it. I'm a broken record. But it's happening, folks. It may not be happening where you live, but it is happening in this country nonetheless. Crime rates are skyrocketing. Violent attacks to American citizens from people that's come here illegally are skyrocketing. There's cities talking about that they're gonna, that Boston, I think Boston was one of them, that it's at a point that it's almost out of control with how many that are there. They can't control it, so they're going to start housing them in veterans homes. They're basically, the veterans got to get out. They were doing that in New York too. Kick the veterans out and move the illegals in. It's absurd. It's absurd, and it's not going away. It's not that it's going to get better. It's just now starting to get to that bad point. Like, it's been building all along to where it's only been noticeable in small little areas. Now it's gotten to the point that it's noticeable in a broad swath of areas, and it's just going to continue to worsen. You got to get ready for it, folks. Quit sitting around talking and complaining and what you're going to do. We're going to do this. I was going to do that. I was going to. Don't be an I was gonna. Be a I'm doing this now. I'm ready now. I'm taking and making a stand now. I'm getting myself ready. Am I getting my family ready? We are ready. Do that kind of stuff. Get into a state of readiness. Don't stay in this state of I'm going to talk about it some more, because Lord knows talking about it has been so successful over the last several years. Get out there and be a doer. Make yourself ready for what's coming. It's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.